Hey guys, it's Ray here. Welcome to Interrupting Sports, the show devoted to inspiring positive change. This is Season 1, Episode 5, and today I'm excited to talk to you all about how to become a spokesperson for change and promote inclusion in sports. You know the old saying, those who can't do, teach. That is a phrase I encourage you to dismiss, because teaching is everything. Learning evolves us, and it allows us to expand our thinking. Knowledge, it's beautiful. I believe American author Brian Herbert said it best when he said, "The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill, and the willingness to learn is a choice." Our brains are so powerful. We learn so much every day. So the next step is to apply that knowledge and those teachings and pass it along. But instead of waiting until we have children and grandchildren, let's use our voice today. And so today, I'm going to talk about how to be a spokesperson for change. Okay, so why be a spokesperson for change? Why do we want to use our voice today? Why don't we just wait until we're older, we're established, we have families and children and grandchildren? Well, because change takes time. It takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a collective effort. So it's not just individual effort, it's all of us coming together. So if we start now, we're setting ourselves up for a better future tomorrow. So I'm calling all Gen Zers. Let's put those intellectual minds that spend hours playing video games, scrolling through social media, and pulling all-nighters to study for finals to good use. Let's make a difference and bring about positive change. So now you're thinking, how do we make a difference? How do we do this? After all, most of us are kids or young adults. Well, it all goes back to being the change. I know I may sound like a broken record right now because I've been saying it's time to be the change, but if I sound like a broken record, that means I'm doing my job because you're listening. So let's be the change. Let's contradict that old saying that those who can't do, teach, and let's do both. Let's do and let's teach. It is time for us each and every one of us to be the example and pass our learnings in all directions, pass them up, pass them down, left, right, and center, and share that knowledge with everyone we know. My first piece of advice for being a spokesperson for change is ensuring that you are only passing knowledge and giving advice on subjects that you can speak to. You must give people a reason to listen to you, because no one will listen to you if you're someone who hasn't done it before. For example, say you're looking for a personal trainer and you're weighing your option between two trainers. Are you going to pick the trainer that claims he or she is an expert but is actually a couch potato? Or would you pick someone who lives by their teachings? At the end of the day, if a product or service is good, then those selling it are using it. And if they're not, you should look elsewhere. So you really should be thinking between the two trainers, well, I want the service of the personal trainer who lives by their teachings, because why would they be doing that themselves if they didn't believe in it and if it didn't actually work for them? So now that we know that, how do you gain the expertise? Because you're probably thinking, okay, great, like I will give people a reason to listen to me, except the one thing that I need to do that is expertise, but I don't have that. Okay, well, this is about how we apply your learning and then you get experience through that application. So there's several ways to do this. You can find work or volunteer opportunities that directly expose you to the industry and network of professionals, and you'll get hands-on experience that way. Like an internship is a perfect example. But what if those slots are filled? What do you do? Well, the answer is not do nothing. We're not just going to say, okay, the slots are filled in those positions. I can't get any experience, so I'm just going to sit here and do nothing and be sad and sorry for myself. The answer is do anything. Anything that you can to make yourself a better version of you and in a better position than you were before. So how do we do this? There are 3 ways that I recommend anyone on this sort of path of self-discovery can achieve this. The first is educate yourself. There are literally endless YouTube videos, TikToks, IG accounts, online courses, TED Talks, whatever, you name it. All of these platforms can teach you all that you need to know about literally anything. Name one subject and I guarantee you there's some course on it, some YouTube video on it, there's an IG account promoting it, etc. Personally, on YouTube, I love the account Motivation Madness because they post motivational and inspirational videos to help people get through life. They even have icons like Will Smith, Kobe Bryant, talking about their personal journeys and where they provide advice for each of us to reach our goals. So that's an account I recommend, is Motivation Madness. And as I previously mentioned, TED Talks, as you know, are very educational and informational. I know most of us use them in school, and they're great ways to expose us to the industries that we're interested in, various topics, and to learn something in a condensed format on a platform that we're used to. So educating yourself is the first step. The second step is expanding your network. This is a place where I'm talking to our high school, university students, and anyone else that's a little bit older. LinkedIn is your friend. Instagram is your friend. Facebook is your friend. All social media is your friend. But personally, I will be speaking from the perspective of LinkedIn. Make an account. Just make an account. Even if you think I have nothing to put on here, make an account, because guess what? You will have something to put on there. So make an account, search for your favorite companies. What are you interested in? If you're interested in sports, maybe you're looking up the Olympics, maybe you're looking up MLSC, and look for topics, for example, hockey, basketball, NBA, NHL, and different hashtags. And that will help you find people that you want to connect with, because those people have similar interests. Maybe they work for those companies, they follow those hashtags, they're commenting or liking and reacting to various posts on those topics. Those are the people you want to follow and you want to connect with. And what you'll do from there is you'll reach out to them and you'll set up some time to have a conversation and to get to know them and to learn about them and learn about their experiences and how they got there and where they are today and any advice that they have to pass on. Talking to people is the best way to learn from others. It's the best way to learn from their experiences, and it allows you to develop personal and professional relationships to leverage later on. So eventually when those spots open up and you're applying to those jobs and maybe you get that job, you can then reference those people to help you out in your network in order to get to the next stage in your career. So it's a great way to use your network. Now, the final step is being a creator. So do not just sit there and wait for opportunities to come out of thin air and present themselves to you on a silver platter, because that is not going to happen. That is not how the world works. Instead, build your own platform. If the opportunities aren't there, build your own platform. And before you know it, you'll be more than ready for that opportunity that you're waiting for anyways. I know I mentioned in a previous podcast that becoming a creator was a choice of mine that I made because I was eager to begin my efforts contributing to meaningful work. And part of meaningful work to me, what that means is passing along this message that sports are for everyone and that we can all contribute to positive change in sport. And that is why I started this podcast. So with COVID, what happened was I was sitting around, I was waiting for, nothing to present itself because sports didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. And I got tired of it. So instead of waiting, I decided to make it happen. And I invite you to do the same. Take your passion, whatever it is, be it sports, be it nutrition, be it fitness, whatever. It doesn't even have to be sports related. Find your voice through it and pick a platform and use that to send your message out to the world. That is the best way you can be a creator. So those 3 steps right there, educating yourself, expanding your network, and being a creator, are my 3 steps to your path of self-discovery when those opportunities aren't there for you. So let's recap. To be a spokesperson for change, we have to be the change by doing and by teaching. So we must ensure that the lessons we pass along are those which we live by, because authenticity and truth, that is what captivates people, and that is what sells. Then we apply our knowledge through work experience. And if those opportunities do not exist, we educate ourselves, we expand our network, and we become creators of our own pathways. Now, how can we apply this strategy of becoming a spokesperson for change to promoting inclusion in sports? Well, as a spokesperson for change, you now possess the qualities to leverage your platform and develop opportunities for others to take part. So now I want to share with you 3 ways that any one of us can do their part to promote diversity and inclusion in sports today. First off, start at home. Look at your friends and family. Build a community of healthy, active living by encouraging them to be active. How do you encourage them? You don't dictate their life choices and tell them what to do and you just sit there and watch like, hey, go do this because you'll be healthy. I'll be here eating a bag of chips. No. What you do instead is you lead by example and you invite them to join you. So instead of saying that, you would say, you know what? I'm going for a run. Want to join? I'm going to have a workout. Want to join? Let's go for a walk. Phrase it in positive ways instead of looking down on them. By starting at home, you are developing the next set of advocates for living a healthier lifestyle. So if you're able to influence the people closest to you in a positive manner, imagine what you can do to the rest of the world. So with that, we're starting at home and we're building that community of healthy, active living. Now, a second way you can do that outside of the home and outside of your personal circle is by volunteering your time. So sign up to support athletic events at your school or professional organizations. Maybe you want to sign up and be a team coach or assistant. The best way that you can find these opportunities is going to maybe your local summer camp's website, YMCA's, other community centers, and encourage your neighbors' kids, your cousins, your brothers and sisters to attend drop-in sessions and signing up for camps, getting them active. That's the goal here. It's to get kids and youth active. By volunteering your time, you're able to support their athletic journeys and act as their support for their success. So it is important that you encourage everyone to participate. So one thing I would say to note here, and this is crucial, is do not make assumptions that someone is not interested. You may be trying to pass along this message and say, invite your neighbor's kid, but don't bother with Josh over here because they're not into sports. Don't make assumptions. Instead, always give them the opportunity to participate. Invite them, encourage them, and say, hey, just wondering if you'd be interested in this. A bunch of us are going down. We're going to play some basketball at YMCA. And say we'd love for you to join. That's a different mindset because you don't know. Maybe Josh didn't think about sports in that way, and maybe he's actually interested in sports but never had the opportunity to have someone participate with him, and that's why he was turned away from it. Or maybe he's not interested in sports and doesn't want to be there. But the point is, you're not making that decision for him. You're giving him the opportunity to join if he so wishes to. Now, the last way that we can promote diversity and inclusion in sports today is spreading the word. So how do we spread the word? Why are we doing this? We want to highlight the importance of healthy, active living for kids through, we can do online webinars, you can use social media, you can even have a peaceful protest. Perhaps you can even offer the opportunity to maybe donate to a charity supporting your mission of promoting healthy, active living. Whatever your platform, your method, the point is to educate, right? We're trying to educate and understand, why is this important? Why do we want kids to be active? Why do we want that opportunity extended to all kids of all communities? That is the mission here. So in terms of charities, actually a great one that comes to mind is Right to Play. Right to Play is a not-for-profit organization, and they protect, educate, and empower children through sport all around the world. So that is a great charity to start off with if that's something that you guys are thinking of. But there are many others. I know MLSC Launchpad does a ton for promoting youth sports and athleticism and educating them through sport and even on their school side as well, and incorporating that into curriculum. So that's a great way to do that. But why are we talking about spreading the word? Why is this important? It's because word of mouth marketing is highly effective. It's a great strategy to educate and encourage participation. That's exactly what we're doing. Because naturally, we trust in products and in ideas that our friends and family tend to as well. Right? Like if your friend says, hey, I went to this gym and it was awesome, I'm going to go back. You're most likely to go check that out than if a stranger walked out to you on the street and said, go try that gym, which makes no sense, right? You'd be like, but why? Why would I do that? So the point is the word of mouth is highly effective. And so that's something that I would definitely recommend looking into doing. So in summary, what are these 3 ways that we can promote inclusivity in sport? Well, the first is building a community of athleticism with our friends and family by encouraging participation in healthy, active living. For example, eating healthier, working out together, just getting up off the couch. Another way is through volunteering. So maybe it's at sports events, maybe it's on some youth teams. And then finally, it's spreading the word on the significance that the role of sports plays in a child's life. And by doing any of these 3, or maybe all of these 3 things, and there's obviously many things I didn't mention, but I feel like sticking to 3 is a great way for you guys to remember, is that if each of us are able to embody this mission, that we need to start at the grassroots programs and encourage participation this way across all communities, then together we'll be able to change youth sports for the better. And one day, that will lead to proper representation of marginalized communities, be it BIPOC, LGBTQ+, women, any of them. And that will allow us to have proper representation of these communities in professional sports. But it all starts from the grassroots programs. And so that's why we're talking about promoting inclusivity in sport through youth, healthy, active living, and through the communities that surround them. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. Please show some love to your favorite podcast by following us on Instagram at Interrupting Sports. I'll leave you guys today the same way I do every week. Remember to be the person today that you want to be tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and see you next week.